Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Leonie, aka Stitching Noni, and this is my Flosstube channel all about my cross-stitching journey. I would like to say thank you so much for all the comments and condolences on passing of my dad, and obviously also Felix. And thank you very much for taking the time to watch my WIP parade, the last one that I did 2 weeks ago, and for commenting, liking, and a very big welcome to everyone who is an old subscriber who came back to view, and to new subscribers. I am stoked that I got out there and I've got some new subscribers happening again. So yeah, it's always lovely to have old subscribers returning and to have new people finding my channel. I don't record as often as I should, so I do appreciate you all taking the time when I do put up a video to actually take that time to watch it and comment and like it, so, and subscribe. So thank you very much. Today is 2 weeks or thereabouts since I last came back with my WIP parade for 2025, and true to my word, I have got some WIPs for you. Now, you know, just because I've done it now for 2 weeks, the proof will be when I can continue to do 2 weekly videos, so fingers crossed we will. I have, I think, 7 WIPs that I've worked on in the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to show you those, give you a quick update on my lofty goals, which, yeah, they are seriously pie in the sky type goals. Would like to achieve a couple of the big ones, and yeah, if I do, I do. I'm not going to get upset if I don't, but I would like to achieve a couple. And just with the last 20 days, because today is the 21st of January, I can see that maybe my goals are a little bit too lofty, but you know, you never know, because you don't know. It's just stitching time with me being back at work is a little bit less than I would like. I had some plans to sort of stitch maybe at lunchtime for half an hour on my WIP of Shame, and that's not been happening, so I'm playing catch up a little bit on that. But you know, things will settle down, and I have now got approval to go to 4 days a week for work, which is absolutely brilliant. I don't know when that's going to start though, because when I was talking to my lead last week about it, she was going to talk to our manager, which she did, and we got approval for me to go 4 days a week, because there's one other girl that wants to come up from 3 to go to 4, so that'll balance out. She was asking me if I wanted to, because I was looking at doing 9-day fortnight, and she said, could I do that maybe by just reducing my hours and doing what they call school hours, and that won't work because I have no reason to finish at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't have kids to pick up from school, so that might work for the girls who do have kids to pick up from school, so they can do the shorter hours, but I know I'll still be working to 5-6 o'clock at night. So the object of this game is to actually have a day off. So 4 days a week is, I'm just going to go straight into 4 days a week rather than ease myself into it. So we might not be spending as much money on hay patterns when they have sales, but it'll be fine. It'll be all good. So yeah, so that's, I don't know when that will start. So I'm assuming it is likely to start, I've said no later than the 1st of July, but it may start in March or April. So they're just working out headcount now and jigging around headcount a little bit. So yeah, so that is good news. So I'm pleased with that. But anyway, you're not here for that bit. There's no other life updates and nothing else has changed, which is good. So I will now get into my WIPs and let you know what I've stitched on and let you know how I'm going with my lofty plans. So for January, so far, as of the 20th of January, which was yesterday, I've managed to do 6,624 stitches, which is an average of 331 stitches a day, which is pretty good because, you know, that's what I was aiming to do, around 300 to 400 a day. That's not going to help with some of the lofty goals, but it will help me get to a yearly goal better than what I did last year. So that's good. So obviously being January year to date is the same. So Each time I come back for my updates, I will update that. I've worked on 7 WIPs in the last 2 weeks, so I will show you those, and we'll get straight into it, shall we? Let's just get into it. So the first one I've got on my list to show you and to talk about is Shimmering Mermaid, which is a Mirabilia. I started this one back on the 6th of October 2017. Didn't get very far with it. I will put up little pictures and whatnot. You did see my start. You did see what I'd done in my last video, because I had actually worked on it at the beginning of the month, but I'm currently working on it every Monday, Tuesday. So I'm trying to get a minimum of 200 stitches for what's the event? Blingy Monday in Extreme Cross Stitch, the Extreme Cross Stitch group, one of the challenges. So I am trying to do 200 stitches on a Monday for that, being Blingy Monday. Sometimes I'll take it into Tuesday if I want to get just a little bit more, if I need to finish it. So I'm really pleased that so far every Monday, Tuesday I have worked on this. So I'm really pleased about that. And before picture of what it was on my last video on my WIP parade. And this is where she's at now. So for the last couple of weeks since you've seen it, I've basically, as I mentioned, there's a boo-boo down here in her fin in the tail, so I'm not touching any of that for a while. So I've just basically decided I would work up, and then once I've done all of the up, I'll come down and I'll sort my little thing out. Now, my goal for this for the year is 1,000 stitches, so she probably will not be out again this year. We'll just see what happens. I have 5 Mirabilias that I want to work on for the year. So the chances are these will have a second rotation, but it really depends on my other goals. So the main goal for each of my mirrors is 1,000 stitches for the year. Whether they come out again, we'll see, but that's the main goal at the moment. So currently she's at 926 stitches for the months and for my goal. So I'm really quite pleased. So I've almost got my 1,000 stitch goal for the year on her, with 1 more Monday to go. So that will be well and truly busted. I've done 772 stitches since I last showed her to you. She's on 32 count Opal Belfast Oceans from Colour Cascade Fabrics. And as I mentioned, I started her on the 6th of October 2017. So I have just worked in the, sort of worked up here, and I've mainly focused on that. Yesterday I finished off her face and I backstitched her face. I did actually have to frog all of this because I'd counted, stupidly, taken it off the wrong bit somewhere up here when I started. It was just this little bit here. So last Monday I had to remove all of that and restitch that. But as I frogged it, I didn't recount those stitches. I just counted after I had done it. I probably could have counted it for a challenge, but I didn't worry about it. I just unpicked it while I was sitting in a meeting, so, and then restitched it. So that was all done. So her face is now complete. I will continue to work a little bit in the hair, but the rest of these holes are Krynic and beads. I don't have all the Krynic for her. I've got the green, obviously, which is down in here. And I've got a goldy colour one, which is some back stitching for the beads and the hair. So I will place an order with Janet to get the rest of the Krynic. But for the time being, I've got more than enough DMC areas to stitch. So that's where she's at now. So I'm really quite pleased that I've almost got my goal on her for the year. So we'll see. Hopefully, if things allow, I will bring her back out in the back end of the year once I've cycled through the other 4 that I have to do. But yeah, be nice to have a Mirabilia finish. I have got a couple that are pretty close to a finish, but I'm not working, well, I am working on one of them later in the year, but I wanted to sort of touch some of the ones that I haven't touched for a very long time. So I'm really pleased with that one. I'll put that there. Okay, so the next WIP I bought out in the last couple of weeks was the Story Keep A Brush with Magic, which is a Hade. This is, I'll put the picture up so you can see the full picture for the story keep. So this is a Haid. Lisa Parker is the artist of this one. So far for January, so I hadn't stitched on it at all before my previous video for my WIP parade. So I've done 2015 stitches in the last couple of weeks on this one. So this is currently rotating at the moment to get its goal, because there's a high goal on this one. The goal for the year on this particular WIP is to finish it. So when I started the year, I was on 30.13%, and to finish it, I need 54,390 stitches. That is a stretch goal to finish, okay? And I mean stretch. I will be happy if I can get this to 75% and then finish it next year. But I'm stretching. I really want to try and get as much work into this one as I can. I started this one on the 21st of December 2022. Please excuse me, my throat's been a little bit dry the last few days. We have had the most disgusting weather. We've got under heat wave warning here in Perth again. I just realized I did not tell you anything about myself for any of my new subscribers. I'll do that in a minute, okay? Sorry, that was in my notes at the top of the page to introduce myself. Yeah, brain. But let's just carry on, because I'm probably going to lose my train of thought again now. Yeah, as I mentioned, that we've had some pretty bad, horrible weather. 40 odd degrees. We get to 40 something yesterday, 42 or something, or 40 point something. Today is going to be pretty yucky. It's quite humid and overcast out there. There's a cyclone coming down the west coast of Western Australia at the moment. Won't affect Perth, because apparently it's going out to sea. But obviously the weather pattern goes all haywire when you've got cyclones around. Yes, a heat wave for the next couple of days, so it's not nice. Excuse me. So of course that's affecting my throat, because weather affects me. So, but that's okay. I've got the coffee. That'll keep me going. Anyway, back to the WIPs. What was I going to say? Yes, so stretch goal, okay? My stats at the moment for this one is, because I've done 2015 stitches, I am now at 32.72% completed, but I still need another 52,375 stitches for the year to finish it. Yeah, it may or may not happen. 25 count Lugana. I've had a page finish, so I'm really pleased. I'll put the picture up of when I took it off the Q-snap to move, because there is a bit behind here. But essentially, that page finish is there. I am up here now, working in here, and all I have to do is finish this little bit up here, and that is a partial page finish. Really happy with that. And then I'm going to keep coming down here, finish up to here, and then obviously we'll keep working down. So really pleased to have had a page finish already on one of my WIPs for the year, and a partial coming. So yeah, but last night I was actually just working in this little area here, doing heaps of, ended up being 343 stitches of 823. I'd love the 823. So yeah, so I'll just do finish that to bring that down a bit, and then I'll come back into this is the handle of the broom, so I'll come back down and bring that down, and then we'll head down to here. But oh God, I just adore these ears. I have a ninja in here. I don't know what that is. I've got to go back into Pattern Keeper and see which one I've missed. But absolutely, I was doing this when it was coming in, and the light, the moonlight on his ears, it's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So impressed with this. Gorgeous. See how we go. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a finish. That is my ultimate goal, is to finish that, so it is a major project for the year to look at. Okay, so as I mentioned back in my WIP parade, I've picked a number of WIPs that I want to focus on for a WIP of shame. And I did mean to actually get my iPad open with that list so that I can make sure I know what I'm talking about at times. So yes, so whip of shame. So I ended up choosing, can't remember how many all up now, I think 12 whip of shames, which originally my idea was I was going to spin the wheel and pick one a month and work on that for the month. With the ultimate goal on all of them is to finish them. Minimum is 1,000 stitches. So if I can get 1,000 stitches on them, fantastic. If I can't, now again, it is what it is, but I would like to 1,000 stitches or a finish. So then Siska put up a challenge, which was her Glamorous 3. And I thought, okay, I could use my whip of shames for that, but then I would need to choose 3 whips. So I've modified my goals slightly. They're still finished 1,000 stitches, something like that. But now I will have 3 going each month. So the goal then is generally most months are 31 days. Yes, there are some, like February, that's going to be our 28 day. But, you know, if I work on a 30-day month, that means 3 whips gets 10 days each. 1,000 stitches, if I can do 100 stitches a day. Now, I'm not probably going to do 100 stitches every day on them, which means I've got to play catch up somewhere along the line. But again, flexible. These goals are flexible. I love that word. Vicky, it's a good word. So flexible goals. Lofty goals, another good word, but we're going to try, okay? So the first whip of shame that I've had out so far for January is a Brooks Books one. Now, even though it's a freebie, I don't know what's going to happen with any of these freebies now that Brooke passed away in December 2024. Whether her family will take the website down, I'm not sure, but this is still on the website. So I'm just going to hold it back here because yes, it's just the chart. Yes, it's a freebie, but I will just hold it way back. That's what it's going to look like. So that's called New Year's Fairy. Sorry, New Year's Magic. I keep saying New Year's Fairy. It's New Year's Magic. Now, this one I started way back in 2015. Didn't get very far. And in fact, I've stitched more on it in the last 3 weeks than what I stitched when I first started it, which is good because the ultimate goal is to finish it, right? So you did see what it looked like on my whip parade when I'd actually done a couple of days on it. So I've now done another 301 stitches on it for a total of 501 stitches so far this month. The ultimate goal, obviously, as I said, is to finish it. This is on 32 count Opal Belfast, a sugar cane crunch from Stitches and Spice, which is no longer a dying company. It's way back when. It started on 12th of January 2015. And this is Whip of Shame number 1. So what I've done for the last few rotations is I have basically finished her dress. The little spots in here are for 3072, I think, and some beads. And I didn't do anything in there because that was already there. And now I'm working around the border. So I'll finish off the border and then I will come back because pretty much besides her face and to finish off the arm here, everything else is beading. So I will just probably pull all that out and do that in one hit, but I want to get all the cross stitch done. Now, if I don't get to the beading in January, she will have to come out again to be finished off later on in the year. Now, and that is basically how I'm going to have to roll with these now because I'm going to choose 3 a month. If I don't work on them, then they will stay in the rotation. If I work on it, they will come out of the wheel and go back in once everything has been worked on. That's sort of what I think is the best way to do it. That way I will get to touch every single one of them, but there'll be no pressure within the month that they get drawn. So if they don't get worked on, I'm not going to stress. because they will come up again at some point during the year. When they get finished, obviously they're off the wheel. I'm not replacing anything at this stage on the wheel until they've either all been worked on or they've all been finished, or I've got to a point where I really don't like that WIP anymore and I cannot face doing anything else on it. In that case, it might end up being in the box of shame for the time being, because, you know, one day I'll finish it, but who knows. Okay, so while we're talking WIP of shame, I'll bring out the other one, because even though she's not on the list right now, I'm going to bring it out anyway. Now, this one, I don't have a mock-up of what it would look like. If you Google Faces of Joan Elliott, either in Facebook, because there is a Facebook group, or even just Google the wording Faces of Joan Elliott Sal 2014 or whatever, you will see pictures, because people have obviously posted over the time. You'll even see some of mine from my old blog. So there are people who have finished it, and finished it recently, because it's had a, you know, pops up every now and then. So I will show you what it looks like when I had it on my WIP parade, because I did do some stitches at the beginning of the month before my WIP parade. I've done another 333 stitches since then. So for the monthly total of 833 stitches. So almost to my 1,000 stitch goal for this one. Ultimate goal is to finish, but there is a bit of work, because as I mentioned in my WIP parade, I'm going to pull all this out. Maybe. I don't know if I'm actually going to be, I was looking at this the other day thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this out, because this is 1/1 skin, and it is tight. It is really, really tight. This is, I believe, a 28 count even weave. Something. Might even be a 32. It's tiny. Could be a 32. I think it's 28. It's just a basic cream even weave. Just, I would have had it in my box of fabric way back when, because I started this on the 29th of September 2014, and you can see I was very ambitious. I thought I was going to be finishing this, so I actually put the 2014 in there, but then I started to think, well, that was actually the name of the sal, so it doesn't matter that it's got 2014 in. You know, I might not finish it until 2024, no, 2025, because we're now, whatever, God, brain. Anyway, back to it. So I have finished the cat, and I believe you saw that the cat was finished in the last one. So I'm now working on this dragon. I have almost finished all of the DMC stitching, so I've got a bit more here to do. The blank, a lot of the blank bits now are Krynic. I do not have the Krynic for this. I never got around to buying the Krynic for this, so I'm going to have to order it from JK at some point, but I'm not going to stress too much. I'm going to just finish the DMC, and I'll come back for the beads and the Krynic. That one's missing its beads as well, because I want to move on to the peacock, which is here, and then I think there's another fairy. The fairy over this side I haven't finished either, because I started doing 1/1, sorry, the fairy on this side, because I started doing that one on 1/1 skin, but not as much. So I think I'll pull that out and see how I go with the smaller amount, pulling it out before I tackle taking this out. But I really don't like it. It looks ugly. And she needs eyes. Maybe if I give her eyes, she might not look so bad. But yeah, but basically the rest of this is either Krynic or beads for that one as well. So goal is to finish the DMC in here, move down to the peacock. Whether I get to that in January, I don't know, but that's okay. That's okay. Again, not stressing over this. Ultimate goal, finish, but it will come back into rotation at some point in the year once January is over. Okay, dokie. Let's go back to some full coverage. I think that's all we've got left now, isn't it? Yeah, full coverage. Okay, so the next full coverage I've got on the list is Haunted House. This is a Haid, artist is Donna Gelsinger. I started this on the 24th of December 2023. Let's pull those threads up over there. I worked on this a day and a bit. So I've got 321 stitches so far for January. The goal that I have got for this particular one for 2025, I should say 2023 then for a second, is to increase it to 3%. So when I started at the beginning of the year, it was on 1.85%, which meant I needed 5,968 stitches to get me to 3%. Currently, I am now on 1.92%, and I need another 5,647 stitches this year. Very doable, absolutely. This is going to come out every month for my dark 13 stitching. So the 13th of every month, I will be stitching on this. Now, depending on how much I get on the 13th of the month, if I can get anywhere between 250 and 500, I will be happy. It may stay out for a second day to increase it, but I think because the first night I had it out, I got 218, and then I just pulled it out for another couple of hours on the following day just to round it up to the 321, because I was actually needing 300 for a prompt, so for one of the groups I'm in, so I carried it on to 300. So ultimately, if I get 300 stitches a month, yeah, that won't make me get my goal, so I do need to do more each month to get my goal. So I'm sort of thinking at least 500 stitches a month. So I'm a bit behind, but you know, I'll make it up. I'll make it up, because October, it will be a focus piece in October anyway. Obviously for October being Halloween. So yeah, so where did I work this time? I worked mainly in this area, putting in all of the greys, because again, I did do some bit of a, not extreme, but a bit of a black DMC challenge in one, I can't remember what month last year, where I had to do 2,000 stitches in black. So I went a little bit out of my sort of, not comfort zone, but a little bit over the place. So now I'm coming back so that I can start working on the page finish. So I can get a page finish on this one. So that's Haunted House. Not much more I can tell you about that one for now, I don't think. Don't think so. Okay, over the page. So my next main focus piece for 2025 is the Haid 2024 sale, Bernadette. So Bernadette is this gorgeous little lady here. The artist for this is Richard Lorenz. I did start this, I finished just over 4 pages last year, so I completed my Haid goal last year, which I was really pleased about, and got my all the charts that were released for the Haid sale, the bonus ones. I got to a point last year around November, oh, it's trying to rain, around November, early December, where I decided I was very close to 25,000 stitches left. So I pulled it back and went, that's it, I'm leaving it with it's actually 25,081, so I really probably should have done the extra 81. So now my goal for the year is to finish this. This is truly the focus. I have to finish this. This is the one I really want to finish. So to do that, I need to stitch 25,081 stitches for the year. That would get me to 100%. So I started the year off at 61.68%. I'm now at 62.54%. So I've still got 24,520 to go because I've done 561 so far this month. So I am a little bit behind because I need to do 2,000 a month on this. So yeah, so she's hanging around out now. Between her and A Brush with Magic, they are now my 2 main ones for the next 2 weeks. I need to work on them, and I'll tell you more about that in plans. So as those ones need to be worked on. I am doing the Haid 2025 sale Deskins, which is a Stephanie Law. So I haven't touched it though in the last 2 weeks. So I am very much behind on that. Ultimate goal for that one is 6 pages. That is so that I can get the charts. I'm not stressing over that. That, honestly, I love it. I was really enjoying stitching on it, but I'm not gonna put deskins over this one, getting this one finished, okay? So yes, I will work on deskins. Yes, I have goals for deskins, but I'm not gonna overly stress over that. If I don't get it, I don't get it. The charts that came out as part of the sale, there is nothing there I seriously must have. I can always go and buy the larger charts for any of them if I really, really want them. I know there were some L and L ones which I think were only available for the sale, but none of those really floated my boat anyway, so I'm not stressing. This is my focus. This and a brush with magic are my 2 big, real major focuses to do. So Bernie's gonna be doing a lot of nights. I'm working here in the black, which is pretty good because, you know, block stitching. So I'll bring all the black down. I want to bring that page down to here, and then I'll come back over here and start working on that. And then once I get that, there's only some partial pages down here. But yeah. TARDIS is here for fandom stitching this year. The group are doing Doctor Who and Supernatural, and I'm in the companions team for. I'm going Doctor Who all the way. I've never watched Supernatural. I'm sure everybody loves it, and my mum loves it, but I've never really watched it. I'm more of a Doctor Who fan, so my TARDIS is for the fandom group. Cool. So that's my Bernie. That's my gorgeous Bernie. And then I have one more Hyde to bring out. Now this one in full coverage Fanatics for the year. The yearly event is to stitch to the moon, and the team that I'm in for that, we're stitching cats. So any chart with a cat, any full coverage chart with a cat, stitches for that go towards our ultimate goal of stitching to the moon. So one of the girls, I thought it was Ute or one of the others, worked out if we do the number that are in the group, if we do 2,000 a month, we'll get to the moon. Okay, if we do more, then we might even get back again. So I've got to make sure I have full coverage with cats in my rotation for the year, or every month. So obviously I will get that with my brush with magic. I have also got a couple of others. So a long winter's nap has a cat on it, and that will come out on the 25th. But then I was looking, and I've got a couple of others. So I have a group in my plans of working on cat whips, and one I hadn't touched for a while. So I actually had slated the next cat one I was supposed to work on for the month was the my cat bookshelf from Randall Spangler, the book club sale one. But then I thought, well, actually, full coverage Fanatics are supposed to work on Sonura for Capricorn and for the movie, because I'd slated them in for those last year when I set up all my full coverage Fanatics challenges. So I've had to push my bookshelf one towards the end of the month because I might not get to it, but I needed to bring Sonura out to work on it. So Sonura's come out for a couple of days, and this is a Jasmine Beckett Griffiths. She's the artist. It is a Hyde, so obviously I'll put the picture up. And this is where she is at now. So I've done 539 stitches in the last couple of days. She's been on the WIP board for the last 2 days, and this is all I'm working on here. So this is all her hair, as you'll see when you see the picture. This is all the head and the hair. So I had gone across last year to the edge of the building. That is the edge of the building, and this bit is where the building goes the sideways view. So now I'm working on a hair. So I'm working now in the page. So, oops. Oh, back again, just a phone call. I will have to stop again because I've got someone coming around to give us a quote on some window tinting, but that's all right. I might get through this bit and then I can come back. Sonura, yes. So I'm basically going to complete, I think there's a page there somewhere. So my plan is to just continue with the hair, complete that page, and hopefully we will get to our goal for this year on it. So the goal for Sonura is to increase it to 7%. The starting percentage was 4.93, which means I need to do 5,599 stitches, which is doable this year, hopefully. Currently at 5.13, so I still need another 5,060 stitches. She's on 25 count Lugana full cross 1/1, which is how I do all of my hides. I forgot to tell you some of those other ones, but they're all either on 25 count, Easy Guide, Lugana. Haunted House is actually on 28 count Easy Guide. No, 28 count Lugana, not Easy Guide. I wish it was on Easy Guide, but I didn't know about 28 count Easy Guide when I started that one. Should have thought there would be. So yeah, so otherwise they're 25 count. So that's where she is at the moment. So cool. Started her on the 28th of December 2021. So it'd be nice to get a reasonable amount of work done in hers. So that's all I've done for the last 2 weeks. I still have a number of WIPs on my list that I need to do. I still need to work on the bookshelf, which is one of my focus for a finished one. So that's the Little House Needleworks bookshelf. So I still need to bring that out. That was spun on the wheel for this month. The WIPCO drawers for me are Debbie's Roses, which is a little chatelaine, and the Little Stitching Witch, which is a Galbusi design. So I need to bring those out. I will probably only bring them out because they both have a stitch goal of either finish or 1,000 stitches. So I'll probably only bring them out and work on them for a couple of hundred stitches, just to say I've worked on them. They can come out again later in the year. Halloween Sneak Peek, which is a trilogy design. I haven't yet touched that. That is a WIP of Shame that came up in the Glamorous 3 drawer for the WIP of Shame. I may not get to that, but we'll see. If I can get 100 stitches in, done. But you know, I'm not stressing over that one. And obviously a Long Winter's Nap, which is my Hey Donna Gelsinger one with the cat sitting on Santa's lap. That will come out on the 25th for Extreme Cross Stitch are going to have a monthly Christmas winter event on the 25th of every month. So that will come out for the 25th of this month for a day or so to get 200, 300, 500 stitches on it, wherever. So as I mentioned, focus, Bernadette. Need to get my monthly goal of 2,000 stitches, so 2,100 stitches or thereabouts done. So we'll see how we go. Still got 1,500 to go. Brush with Magic. I need to get 4,500 stitches for the month. I'm scared. I don't think I'll be doing that. I've only got 2,000 stitches so far, so I need to get another 2,800 or thereabouts. Deskins, the stitch goal for the month, if I was going to get the 6 pages, is 3,800. I've only got 928 on that, so possible, but lower down the list than the other 2, and that's it. So that is my update. So really there's not much more. So yes, so I know I said I would do a bit of an intro, so I'll quickly do a intro, and it may be that I take, if I get to, maybe when I'm editing, maybe I take this and put it at the front, I don't know. I'm also keeping an eye out for this lady who's coming to do a quote, so I may have to stop recording really quickly. But for those of new viewers who have not maybe watched maybe my very first one, which I think I maybe didn't told you who I was in that, I don't know, maybe not. But obviously my name's Leonie, and I do use Stitching Noni as my Flosstube name on Instagram, but I don't post on Instagram anymore. I just find it's too hard to keep up with stuff on Instagram. I live in Perth in Western Australia and have done for many, many years. Originally from South Australia, but I've been here since I was 3, so I'm probably a West Australian now, maybe. I think of myself as a West Australian with South Australian blood. I work for a major mining company as a project data controller. So for all of the worldwide projects that we have, obviously the documents that come from the contractors when they're building our projects, our new mines and or dismantling some of them as we've got closure stuff going on. So I'm part of the team who processes those documents into our system. I did step away from that role and went into more of a technical role for 18 months or thereabouts, but I've now come back into the old role. I used to be an executive assistant to the managing director for our area, but with COVID, that role sort of shrunk because he didn't travel, he didn't do any overseas travel, and there wasn't as much work going on, and so I moved across to help the data control team out, and lo and behold, this is where I am 5 years later. Really enjoyed that. Married with no children of my own, but 2 stepsons. So my husband had 2 boys from previous marriage. One of them has a son of his own now, with a second one on the way. So there is a little 2-year-old grandchild and another little boy on the way. So that's exciting news for 2025. We'll have another little grandson running around. I have 1 dog now. I used to have a dog and 2 cats, but I only have the 1 dog because we've lost our 2 boys. And Mitz is getting quite old, so she'll be 13 this year, so she's an old girl. But other than that, there's not really a lot to say. So, you know, I'm a stitcher. I've obviously got more into stitching. My stitching tastes have changed a lot over the last, even in the time that I've been filming, but certainly in the time since I started my blog back in whenever it was, 2010 or something. My stitching style changed. I did a lot of Margaret Sherry and stuff in the early days. I still do Joan Elliott. I then ventured into mirabilia because I fell in love with all the mirrors that the people were posting. And then obviously the advent of Facebook became a big thing as well, which you then start going down some more rabbit holes. And I was always too scared to try Haid until one day Quarantine Cats was released. And I fell in love and I went, you know what, I just have to do it. And since then I've now full coverage. I love full coverage, but I've got so many other WIPs. I don't know what my WIP count is at the moment. It's getting up to, it's coming down because now I have had some finishes, but it's up around the 120, 130, which is why this year I wanted to do this WIP of shame and have some plans to stitch on stuff that I haven't stitched on for a long time, to actually decide, do I really ever want to stitch on these again? In that case, they're just going to get folded up and taken off the WIP list and never to be spoken about, or I finish them and then they can go in the box of shame with all the finishes, because there's so many of my completed finishes I've never done anything with. One day I should do a video of all of those. That would probably take a while because there's a few in the box, but if anyone wants to see my under the bed box of finishes, please put a comment, and maybe I'll do a Flosstube extra video with those. Same going, if you want to see the rest of my WIPs that I'm not touching this year, I'm happy to do pull some of them out and maybe do a separate video of those. But other than that, that's pretty much, oops, I've got to go. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I'm back for just the last little bit to sign off. I did record, had to rush off obviously while I was just doing a bit of a recording of the last piece. So this really is just for me to say goodbye, because I didn't get to say goodbye at the end of my little bit before I had to rush off because we had a visitor. So basically my plans, as I mentioned, for the rest of the 2 weeks of this month is to work on Bernadette, SK Brush with Magic, possibly Descants, maybe get a little bit more on New Year's Magic and the Faces of Joan Elliott sale, maybe work on the Halloween sneak peek. You know, it's really not floating my boat. I don't know why I put that one into the WIP of Shame, but it needs to be finished, so maybe I will just force myself to do that one. Do need to work on my little mini chatelaine, do need to work on my little stitching witch. and obviously long winter's naps. So a little bit, and bookshelf, little house needlework. So a little bit to put on the Q snaps over the next couple of weeks, see how we go. And I'll be back in 2 weeks' time to show you some more, and you'll know whether I've managed to meet my goals or not. There is a long weekend this weekend here in Australia for Australia Days, so that does give me 3 days of stitching. So yeah, bonus. I'll try and use as much of that time as I possibly can. We've got to go out Saturday morning, but other than that, I'll be sitting stitching with a bit of luck. So thank you for joining me. Thank you again for coming back. Thank you for my old subscribers, my recurring subscribers, whatever. I shouldn't say old subscribers, that's a mean thing. Thank you for my subscribers. Thank you everybody for coming back and watching, liking and subscribing, commenting. If you do like the content, please, and you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and leave me a comment to let me know that you liked, not liked, what you would like to see more, if there's anything else that maybe I used to talk about on my previous videos. I don't have a lot of haul anymore because if I do buy anything, it's electronic hay charts. So I could do something like that at some point and just run through some of the more recent ones I've purchased. But please let me know if there's anything you would like me to talk about or show. But other than that, thank you very much. I shall catch up with you in a couple of weeks. Take care, happy stitching, be kind, bye.